Your favorite food show is finally back. In this episode, we head to Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw to check out Kim Prince's HOTVILLE Chicken. Here we find out more about Kim's experiences growing her business, then after we'll try some food and see how hot Nashville Hot really is.
We're just here to kind of figure out what's HOTVILLE Chicken about.
Well, have you had Nashville Hot Chicken before?
I have only had one, and that was Howlin' Ray's. But I've heard rumors of you going around with a pop-up shop around like 2016, coming here and making waves.
Yeah, so I actually started doing catering like 2015, 2014. Wow. And then I said I need to find like something that's got more volume of people coming through. So there is this Event Rocket Festival. It's like a street festival. Yeah. So I connected with them in 2016 over the summer. And so people didn't really know what HOTVILLE was, but that I did like a Facebook post, and then we had like all these people show up, and we sold out a chicken like within like 2.5, 3 hours. Wow. And so I just had a little simple banner out there. I was working full time, and it was a Saturday in August. It was very, very hot out. We were on the corner of 7th and Figueroa, downtown LA. And we just sold out a chicken. And I was like, you know what? I always knew that the concept was going to work. Yeah. My dad always told me, my aunt always said, you know what? People out west can like this stuff. And so when I decided to go ahead and just formalize HOTVILLE, we did every Saturday. I started like, it was just a lot of work. The muscle and like putting up a tent, bringing it back down. Tables and U-Haul trucks. It was just way, way, way too much. So I literally was like, I need a restaurant to work out of, something that I could just anchor myself. And so I went to Chinatown, and there was a pizzeria, Italian kitchen that was empty. They had closed their dining room. They were just doing catering Monday through Friday. So Friday nights I would go in, prep. Saturday morning we would open up at 11 or 12, and the line would just go right around the corner. It was like really ridiculous. Yeah. There were some days where it was like extremely slow. It was hard, you know. I was just like, you know, learning to do what I could to market it, to promote it. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna think like a chicken. My dad always says, think like a chicken. You gotta scratch and claw, you know. And so I, you know, did some Instagram posts, and people found us. They just found us. Howlin' Ray, little did I know that Howlin' Ray, or Johnny Ray's own, that he was like not far from me. He was around the corner. And I was like, oh man, dang, we in the same neighborhood. I'm like in your backyard. So, but we were, you know, neighborly. It was cool. And I went to his grand opening. He supported my grand opening. So we're real community like that when it comes to all things Nashville Hot Chicken in LA, because that's how it is back home in Nashville. And I wouldn't expect it to be anything other than that. It's not competition, but the pop-up proved successful. And the good thing about the pop-ups is that wherever we went, because that location had to close down because they were doing a new development and they were tearing everything down. So I had to leave out of that place. I mean, I did that for almost a full year in Chinatown. And then I went to like Glendale, and then I was in Pasadena for a spell. Long Beach was really, now Long Beach loved HOTVILLE. Long Beach gave us, I mean, it was like nice. The reception there was like, please come here. And everybody just lined up about an hour and a half before we even opened the doors. We were at a location called Beer Belly at the time. Beer Belly is very, very popular. The owner, Jimmy, at the time, he was like, I need you to do a pop-up at my spot. And I was like, okay. I pushed him off for like 2 years.
Beer Belly over in Koreatown, right?
No, well, Jimmy owned that one too. Oh, okay. But he also had a Long Beach location that he had just remodeled. It was beautiful. Had this amazing bar and tiki room, but the kitchen wasn't doing anything.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't making any money off the kitchen, and you have to have food in order to serve the alcohol. So I finally said yes, and I came to Long Beach, and blockbuster type of numbers. It was great. It was really, really good. And to the point Long Beach still is inviting me to come back down there. But we did June and July, summer of 2019. Got it. Still hadn't locked down a location, but we had some prospects that we were doing paperwork on. And I was like, you know, you ever get that itch like something's not right? You know, just like, to kind of hesitate. And that's how I was with like 2 or 3 other locations throughout the city. Santa Monica, there was a spot that we had put money on, had that on hold. Had another place over in Inglewood, put that money on hold. And we were like doing paperwork with lawyers and real estate agents and stuff. And I was like, and I didn't want to announce anything yet because everyone's like, where's HOTVILLE going to be next? I didn't want to say anything because something just wasn't right about those places. And sure enough, the deals just didn't go through. And I'm glad they didn't. And I'm glad we didn't lose a lot of loot on it because this was waiting on us, right? Okay, so that the pop-up thing, we couldn't do that anymore because I needed a permanent location. They called us the Hot Chicken Vagabonds because we were like, place to place to place to place. Oh man. Yeah. So you can't move around like that, knapsack and chicken and skillet. Couldn't do that anymore. So the pop-ups had to stop. However, I'm not afraid of doing more pop-ups. We've been talking about it recently, doing like collaborative pop-ups in different areas. So regarding her food is something that I'm a part of. We've done some collaborations in Manhattan Beach, Santa Monica.
Can you tell us a little bit more about regarding her food? I know I've kind of like viewed a lot of interviews where you talk about that. And it's like there's something that you seem very passionate about, an organization of like female chefs, restaurateurs, caterers, personal chefs. And I think you're doing like a kind of like a season kind of thing, like a 10-day kind of like festival event.
Yeah, that stuff's passed already. So regarding her food is a collaboration or organization. Now we're a full-on nonprofit organization. We just formalized in December of 2020. And I got approached by women that I didn't know, had never heard of their restaurants, but they said, hey, we need you to be a part of this organization we're forming. It's for women, by women, all women-owned restaurants in Los Angeles. And I said, okay, sign me up. So we got together, and we're just a think tank of chicks just like firing off. And we're, some of us had restaurants for a few months, some for several years, some had one location like myself, some have 6 and 7 locations, but they're all independent-owned restaurants, and those restaurants were wanting and seeing the need to respond to COVID-19. Yeah. And so at first it was like a support group, and then it like evolved, and it evolved very, very fast. We had an idea of taking the anniversary of the Women's March that happened in 2017, and we said we're going to do an anniversary 10-day festival based off of that. And so in January of 2021, we did 10 days regarding her food, 10-day festival, and it was collaborations all throughout the city. We were 9 founding members, and we grew into over 100 members of the organization. So regarding her food, live and well. So after the 10-day festival with all kind of collaborations and virtual experience and panel talks about food in the industry, oh gosh, we got national attention. Yeah. And regarding her food now is looking to actually expand itself in other cities. Like, hey, we want to do that too. How do we do it? We've got a grant program because initially all we wanted to do was just support women's restaurants with, hey, let's give you some financial support. We'll take all these virtual experience that people are paying for, these collaboratives, these meal kits that they're picking up. But we wanted to kind of like mash everything. That sisterhood formed into where I do Nashville Hot Chicken in a restaurant called Socolo in Santa Monica, California, brings their Santa Monica bowl to me, and I take hot chicken to them, and they put hot chicken into their menu, and I put the Santa Monica street bowl into my menu. And we kind of like form these collaborations. Yeah. So I did Manhattan Beach, Love and Salt restaurant, where we did chicken and biscuits. And then that brunch was sold out immediately, so we had to extend it and do another weekend and do another brunch where we did chicken and biscuits, and we added something to it. We did a fried egg on it. So it was like, which came first, chicken or the egg? So, and then we're planning more of those already. Women's History Month, the month of March. We've got collaborations and different things going on this month. And that's been a lot of fun. We've got some plans to make some announcements next week. Yeah, I mean, like I've done like pasta classes and things like that, where we've been gumbo night. We did that a couple weeks ago.
It seems like you're staying fairly busy with all these organizations, community kind of events and things like that.
You have to.
Has that been like kind of a main focus since, like, I know you opened this establishment in December 2019? Right before everything kind of closed down and all those trials and tribulations.
Oh yeah, it was trials, tribulations, rocky. Oh my gosh, it was like, you don't see something like that coming. You don't see who plans for a virus, that's not just gonna affect your zip code, but it affects the whole world. And so I just didn't, when COVID-19 first got announced, I wasn't sure how the effects of it were gonna impact the restaurant industry in particular, until almost a year to date. We get this announcement like, no more indoor dining. And you're like, what does that mean? No more indoor dining? Well, how are we supposed to function? And at the time, I didn't have a delivery platform. I didn't have a takeout or online ordering or anything like that. But I had to pivot really quick.
I think one of the pivots that you were doing was you were catering to senior citizens and stuff like that. Can you tell us something more about that?
Right. Well, I mean, as a result of COVID-19, you had these vulnerable populations out there that couldn't get out anymore. They suggested for seniors over like 65 or whatever to stay inside. And so how are they supposed to eat? So we got connected to a program with our city council district, Marquise Harris Dawson, district number 8. They called us and said, hey, can you do 300 meals this week? And considering I didn't have that 300 coming through the door because they couldn't sit down anymore, we had to go for it, and I just said yes. And then that way it was fun because we were able to flex our muscle. We did more than just chicken. We did pastas and we experimented in the Mexican world of doing Mexican food and stuff like that. So we did all kind of stuff, low sodium, low sugar. We had all these guidelines, and we made it work. My partnership with Doolin Soul Food is really, really integral because they're right down the street. My business partner, Greg Doolin, he was a part of the senior meal program too, and he's like the master of volume. Like, he can feed like 5,000 people in a 2-hour period. He just gets it. And so when I got that call, he got the call, we collaborated. I was able to use his trucks. I was able to use his menu as well. So we started doing collard greens and yams and like all that good old soul food stuff, because the seniors are like, hey, we don't want just fried chicken and mac and cheese. We want some of the greens and collard greens. So I'm like, okay, we can do that too. So, we worked together. There was times that he brought his whole menu over here, and we just cranked out 900 meals instead of just the 300. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, of course. We involved all of our staff, was able to keep them employed. That was really, really important to be able to keep them employed. And after we did the senior meals, we started doing the elementary schools in the area. We did summer meals for them. I've done several other projects that are nonprofit related and community based, the women's shelters, the teen center in Hollywood, like Covenant House. We worked with them, and Twitter sponsored that. So it's like every month there's always something that allows us to just kind of get that extra boost and not just be dependent upon foot traffic and online orders and delivery.
Being able to adapt and to pivot and kind of find different other avenues.
I mean, the word pivot needs to just be like, we need to wear t-shirts to say, I pivoted, because every industry had to do it. It's weird because COVID-19 required us to I didn't realize the snowball effect it was going to take. So when your meat supplier or your other paper good vendors, they're not getting what they need because plants are shut down back east or in the Midwest. Farms are being affected.
When there was the stores were just wiped, right? That must have been insane. I don't know if Restaurant Depot was the same way, but
there were so many stores, and not just the main stores that support restaurants or supply for restaurants rather, but just simple grocery stores. I mean, when their shelves were wiped out, you can best believe that the businesses were all experiencing some type of a delay from some other port out there. It's just I needed mop heads. We're waiting on a mop head. We ain't got no mop heads. Okay, let's go to the dollar store and get some, or you get on your hands and knees and do it the old school way, a little vinegar, water, and some newspaper, like your granny used to do. That's what my granny used to do. So, it's just, it's been a blessing. Because while it stretched us, the challenge of it all, didn't make us give up, you know. So, I pride myself on always like pushing, like not giving up, because you can be confronted with a challenge. Just stare straight on and just, come again. Nipsey Hussle said 10 toes down, right? So you just get 10 toes down and like, okay, let's fight through this, and you'll win, But it's been fun. We've got all kind of, like, the Super Bowl is coming up next year.
Oh.
Got an invitation for that.
No way.
Yeah, we just filmed a project.
Go or to cater?
Because being a vendor.
Okay.
Being a vendor at the Super Bowl. So, it's just like, can you imagine if I had like locked our doors?
Yeah.
Those invitations may not have opened to us. So you have to just be open-minded and keep frying chicken.
Yeah, because I realized in 2020 you were put on like, what is it, the 100 list in LA? Like that was amazing too. So many places are closing up shop, but you rise to the occasion. You make a name for yourself, and like you said, 10 toes down. It's just really amazing, like that, how that started. Maybe you could segue to like the lighter topic of like your food and like how it came to be and how it plays such a pivotal part in your like family history.
Oh yeah, the part about fried chicken, it's like an American food, like apple pie, mac and cheese. It comes with the territory.
Originally called Yardbird, right?
The Yardbird, Gospel Bird, there's like all this, fiery fowl, whatever you want to call it. There's a need for us to have fried chicken in our lives. I mean people who are vegetarians that eat fried chicken. I know some vegans that eat fried chicken. I'm like, it was just between me and you. Okay, here you go. Yeah, so they want to have a cheat day. They want Nashville Hot Chicken. Nashville Hot Chicken and hot chicken. Fried chicken and hot chicken are two totally different things. Even though the processes are similar, the way that we do Nashville Hot Chicken is the original way. My great-greats on this wall did it, right? And so, Nashville Hot Chicken is, you may have seen, as you've traveled around and tried different hot chicken in different places, you'll see, tenders on the menu, and people taking like this little canister and they're shaking a bunch of stuff on it. And I'm like, ooh, that ain't Nashville Hot Chicken. Nashville Hot Chicken was originally quarter cut chicken. So let's travel back to like 1936. You got chickens running in the yard. You got to go out there and you wring their necks. And you dip them into boiling hot water and the feathers fall off. And then you get your meat cleaver out and you like chop, chop. It's like my great-great-uncle Thornton here and Uncle Fats in the corner and my great-grandfather Boyd Prince. It was the meat cleaver, and it's just like two cuts. Right down the middle, you got half a chicken. Chop it crosswise, you got a quarter cut. You got the breast with the wing attached, the drumstick and the thigh all attached. So that's how we sell it here. We sell bone-in, quarter cut pieces of chicken. We also have our wings. And that hot chicken is a process of slow frying the chicken. That's why they originally called it the barbecue hot chicken shack, because the chicken wasn't just spicy, but it also had a process of how we would layer the peppers into the frying of it, not just dousing it on top. That's spicy chicken. Nashville Hot Chicken is in it, okay? So then when you go out there and you try it, say, did y'all put it in the bird or is it on the bird? That's a big difference between Nashville Hot Chicken and other stuff that's out there. So, but I don't sell tenders here. I used to in my pop-ups. I did tenders. It's a great cut of meat, but I wanted to do something that paid attention to the legacy and doing it the original way. And the story is my great Uncle Thornton, handsome guy, right? Aren't they handsome? Good-looking cat. He was like 19 years old in this picture. This picture was taken in 1916. 20 years later, they started the business of the restaurant. And so, a lot of women, they surrounded all the Prince men. All the Prince men had lots of women around them. And they're, ooh, Thornton, ooh, boy, And I try to imagine, if you're being cheated on, how vengeful she must have felt, that mistress. Like that, she had like a vitriol type of like venom running through her. Whatever he did for her to take cayenne pepper and like, so I'm about to mix this up and get back at him. I'm like, you know what? Thank you, whoever you are, lady. Thank you, sister, because it proved to be very profitable for the family in the long run. So Princess Hot Chicken Shack still standing, 3 locations in Nashville, a 4th location at the airport getting ready to be built. Yeah. And then they've got the South Carolina location at Yeehaw Brewing Company. So I'm so proud to have been a part of the foundation and the growth of our family's legacy. And I came to LA in 2013 with an agenda to get Nashville Hot Chicken the authentic way into the mouths of people, so I can burn some bellies and some tails. Yeah, but it's an institution in Nashville. It really is.
Well, we're all truly grateful for, that kind of like story, and you bringing it here and kind of like showing us the real way. Because I know, as you said, a lot of people have it on their menu. They're
inspired. That's how I look at it. They're like, oh, somebody's copying you. I'm like, no, there's no copycats. I only got one fingerprint. It's unique to me. HOTVILLE Chicken has one fingerprint. It's unique to us. And the Prince family has a unique fingerprint. It's unique to us. So the way I respond to that is like, it's a communal bird, and we've inspired a lot of people to get into the game. I can't feed everybody. You can't feed everybody. Johnny will tell you, I can't feed everybody. Pull up a table. It's great. Pull up a chair to the table. LA is huge, right? And I can't feed everybody. My Nashville Hot Chicken, ain't enough birds to go around.
Yeah, you try to. Yeah,
we do our best, but it's like I'm open 11 to 7, I'm closed on Monday.
A lot of our viewers are like young entrepreneurs who are kind of coming up, and we were just wondering, like, what's some words of wisdom that you can shed? I know you've said so much so far, but we were just wondering, like if you could tell our audience something, that would help them in whatever endeavor it may be. Do you have an advice like that?
Sure. Any entrepreneur, whatever field it's in, is get you a piece of paper and a pen, keep it by your bedside. And every dream that you have, write them down. Write them down. That's how it started with me. I dreamed about working for the mouse when I was 8 years old. Disney. Oh. I wrote a paper when I was in school about working for the Walt Disney Company. And I said I wanted to do it. So I wrote a little book report about it. And when I was 22, guess what? I was working for the mouse. I was working for Walt Disney Company. And it just happened. And so, as a kid, I wrote a lot of stuff down. My parents are educators. They made us write everything. I used to start having these dreams while I was in college about being involved in the restaurant, even though I worked in the restaurant all the time back in Nashville. But it wasn't until about, I'll tell my age, Lord have mercy. That's why I haven't had on to hide my grace. I started like having these dreams maybe it's like 20 years ago. It's a long time ago, 20 years ago. And it literally, like in these dreams, I was in this strange place, and there were these stainless steel tables, and me and my father were pushing them together, and I was pointing and telling people what to do. And I was like, get up and write it down. I still had these journals. I write it down. I was like, what was that about? And I didn't see it all kind of formalized or coming to fruition until about 2007, 2008. I was in Nashville, working with my aunt, working in the restaurant, and as I started helping her get the business under control, doing PR with her, and the invitations for her to start getting awards and that kind of stuff. And my Aunt Andre, she's like, just say no. She'd get back in there and start frying chicken. I was like, there are opportunities you're turning away. And so I'm like, using skill sets that I learned over the years, working at Walt Disney, working at ABC, working at MTV, working at Country Music Television Network. I took all those skill sets that I learned over the years, and I started helping my family's restaurant out. And I didn't realize that all those skill sets were going to come into play working in the restaurant. And I used all those skill sets right here. But if I hadn't written any of that stuff down, those dreams, those visions that I was having, I would share them with people who were close to me. That's the other second piece of advice. Be careful who you share your dream with. Everybody's not going to approve or give you validation on your dream. because God gave you the dream. He didn't give it to Kevin. He gave it to you. He gave it to Kim. He gave it to Thornton, right? And so when we had the vision, you write it down and just keep up with it. And then take every opportunity, every person that you meet, and you start thinking about your vision. Like, how can this person add to it? How can this person add to it? Are they adding or are they taking away from it? The people around you, you'll have a lot of naysayers, and sometimes they'll be kin to you. Had a lot of negative, oh, why you want to go and do that? But I focused on it, and I just kept trudging along. I researched, took classes, got certifications, got the licenses, got it. You know, got the permits, and start putting everything, those building blocks, start putting it together. And once you start creating that momentum, nothing's going to stop you. Nobody can stop you when you start putting your feet forward. Now, putting your feet forward, you might fail, but fail forward. Don't stay down there. If I could show you my knees, I have skinned my knees plenty of times, falling and getting back up, but I fall forward. And that's where my faith is. Yeah, but don't give up. You can't quit. Yeah.
Well, Kim, thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to interview you and stuff. I'm sure you've inspired so many people within this room and everywhere on the internet. You know, those are hungry. We're looking forward to trying hot chicken.
Yeah, we're going to get y'all fed and see how you feel. Who's going to try hot?
Awesome. Yeah, he's going to try hot.
Good. Okay, we don't make the hot often.
Okay.
Very few times in a day that we make hot. Maybe 1, 2, 3 times. People aren't willing to try it.
I noticed on like the scale, it's like a 12 out of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
It's like that. Okay.
Well, it's a 5-pepper blend in the hot. It's like 5 peppers. Medium has 3 peppers, and our mild has 1 pepper.
What's like the I mean, without giving us too many secrets, like what's like? Is there like a Carolina Reaper in there? Like a Trinidad Scorpion?
I'm playing with all.
I'm just trying to figure the Scoville level, you know?
Yeah, I'm playing with all of them. I mean, you get to the hot zone, our Scoville levels, once you start multiplying, once you start adding the peppers together, it's in the million mark in our hot level. Yeah, you know, because like Trinidad Scorpion is like 200,000 Scoville points on that. And so you start adding that with a Reaper, and yeah, you sitting out there in the million zone when it comes to Scovilles. And yeah, I wouldn't do it. I don't eat it. I definitely don't eat it hot. It's too early in the day to eat hot.
to ruin the rest of it?
Yeah. We have so many people who walk in and they're like, I want to try the hot. I can eat peppers off the vine. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't eat this. And then I'm like, well, what do you have to do later on today? You going on a date? You got to get on a plane? You got a job interview? I wouldn't eat that right now. In a couple hours, it's going to remind you. It's like punishment.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense, you know. But anyways, we're going to get to the food. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Kim.
absolutely. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Dipped in flavors. I like that.
We'll let you carry on with the end.
I got chicken and chicken.
Wow. Oh, that's look at that chicken.
That's good.
What do you think? What are the flavors you're first picking up when you take that bite?
It's crispy. Like the skin is perfectly cooked. Like I can actually hear a crunch in it. And the flavors, like I'm getting that hot. It's nothing like the medium though. But definitely. I can't pinpoint it though. I can't put my finger on what it is. But I think it's a cayenne. I really like cayenne because I put it with eggs all the time.
Nice.
But this is, I like to call it Kanye, hot fire. But no, I'm getting this again when I come back, I'll tell you that.
All right, so let's see what we got here. So there's a couple of different spice levels at HOTVILLE Chicken. There's like the actual hot, which on the scale of 1 to 10 is at a 12. Then there's like the medium, which is at a 7 out of 10. So like I was initially like, okay, maybe I'll fuck with the medium because I can kind of handle my spice. But they were nice enough to give us like samples of some like toasted bread, which comes with every piece of chicken, with the mild, like the medium spice on it. And that shit is hot. It's no joke. And it's too early for me to be eating that. I'll like burn a hole in my stomach. So I went with the Cali Mild. It's marked as a 4 out of 10 on the spice level. I know it's a little weenie, but I wanted to enjoy the chicken flavor, so let's see how it goes. It's good. It's really fucking good. Like, cause like with the mild, you can really taste like the other seasonings outside of the spice that they put in there. Like definitely the cayenne, definitely pepper. Like the salt is really good. It's like a really good savory chicken, and it, like Blair was saying, the skin is like, it's not like when you go to like, I can't even saying this, but like a KFC, for example, where they put like a ridiculous amount of breading on the chicken. This is like the perfect amount of breading where it's not like, 80% bread and 20% chicken. It's like thin, full of flavor, crispy, and then the chicken underneath is like insanely tender. Like it's insanely tender. It's not. Yeah, look at how juicy that shit is. It's like no dryness at all in that bite. No, it's fucking fire. Yeah, it's delicious. I would say this is probably the best fried chicken I've had in 2021.
I got the Shaw in a mild, as you can, or previously I took a bite of the medium, panned back to me tearing up, and I thought, I can't do that. So I figured, play it safe. Look how big and juicy this is. The pickles under there? Pickles?
Yeah.
I think so. I think they're on the bottom. Oh, look at those pickles. With the sauce, there's like some sauce too. Look at that. Woo! Oh, she gave me the trip picks. There you go. And I like how the bun is toasted too, so it's gonna be extra crispy. Let's go in and see how this tastes. Oh. It's so like juicy. It took such a big bite. But, such a big bite. Yeah, it was for the shot. But oh man, the flavors are so good. The bread is so good. The pickles are delicious. The only way I think I can wash it down is with a waffle and some syrup. Do that action. That was good as well. But
Sorry.
I think we gotta do this.
Is that, what kind of sauce is that?
This is syrup.
Oh, I didn't see.
It's maple syrup.
Sugar sauce.
Canadian cheese sauce. That's pretty cool. They also give you a cup of slaw, some kale slaw. Looks good. I like to play on words. Let's try this out. That's refreshing. Heard all like the fried food, the heat, levels things out. Oh, this is great. This is enjoyable. I don't know. Might be some switching in the rankings for fried chicken. Beans. You spilled your beans. You spilled your beans.
Look good.
Yeah, like the bean medley,
Oh, nice.
like a nice little chorus.
Cacophony of beans.
That word's too big for me. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna take that as offense. And disrespect.
You
call me cacophony?
What?
Cough for you. Yeah, but the beans are really good. I like how plump they are. Like been soaked properly. Most people don't do that. It's mostly like, it's mostly like a sauce.
Yeah.
And not like actual like a dense cup of beans.
You just ate like a bite of spice.
That's the dog's food. So it's like
This is actually delicious.
Yeah?
It's not as spicy as that the bread. Weirdly enough, but it's really good. Immediate spices, like it's heat. You get heat right at your tongue, and then from there, it's like cayenne, the pepper, and I don't even know. There's like some secret spices in there for sure. She messes it around with some peppers, like other peppers, like ghost peppers or something, but it's delicious, hot. The chicken is so juicy. Definitely take another bite. It's one of those things, like, have you ever opened a hot Cheeto bag? You gotta eat the whole bag. This is one of those things. This is delicious. 10 out of 10. Seriously, the best fried chicken I've had in California. Wow. We also got this mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Sorry for my fingers, they're gonna look a little crazy. Let's take this, put it in my mouth. Dang, this is really good. You don't really get mac and cheese that's so seasoned like this. It's usually cheese, you know, mac and cheese, but there's some seasonings going on in here, like it's really, really good. And they crisp. It looks like they crisp some cheese to get that hard bit. So I appreciate them giving me a little bit of a corner bit. Yeah, I'm done. This is good. It's so fucking good.
Yo, so what is better for Sunday brunch than chicken and waffles? And so I got some of these beautiful golden waffles and the Cali mild chicken. So let's get into it. A little syrup on the chicken too for that sweet taste. Now I'm gonna get my first bite ready. Oh, I didn't really make it that cute, but the waffle's great. Amazing flavor. And then I gotta use my hands to get in this chicken. Oh my god, it's so crunchy and perfect. Delicious. Perfect amount of spice. We can taste that it's got a lot of like cayenne, paprika. And then I like the crunch a lot. The texture is perfect. Like, it's the right amount of crunchy with the soft waffles. I would say 10 out of 10 chicken and waffles.
Honestly, this was like really dope. It was tight, like getting to talk with her and like find out the whole backstory with HOTVILLE Chicken and how they've been just like really killing the game with their chicken, their Nashville chicken. And so it's cool hearing about like just the process of how they cook the chicken, how much like effort goes into like making sure there's tons of flavor and seasonings like layered within it. And I would say even after hearing that story, hearing about how they make the chicken, tasting it was like a whole nother thing because it was super tender, crispy, flavorful. It wasn't like, some places will over season and like do way too much with it, but for me, like doing the Cali mild anyways, this was like perfect like flavor. It wasn't too salty, it wasn't too fat, like it just tasted just right, and I tore that shit up. So I would give HOTVILLE Chicken a 9.5 out of 10.
HOTVILLE Chicken, oh my goodness. I would say that we've got a little change in the leaderboards, you know. The flavor was like really deep, kind of embedded within the skin of like the chicken, the breast, and just the attention to detail when it came to the sides and the sandwich. It was really amazing. If I were to rate it on a scale, I'd say a 9.5 is a pretty solid one as well. You know, I mean, I haven't tried her whole range of spice level, but I think the mild is just suitable for an intro person
You know, you're not flying too close to the sun, and you're not gonna get burned. But I think this was just a great overall experience, and I enjoyed the stories that she told, and the community behind it, and just the legacy that is embedded in this recipe of this chicken. So if you guys are out here in the LA area, I highly, highly recommend HOTVILLE Chicken.
I really enjoyed it. Lots of flavor. I had a chance to try both the medium and the mild. They're both really flavorful. Like you said, it's not too salty. There's not too much seasoning on it, but it's just the right amount. It's not super greasy either. I like that a lot. And it was right at my comfort level of spicy, so it was perfect. I really liked the mac and cheese. I like how there was a little bit of brown on the top, the crust of the cheese. Perfect, I love that. As well as the baked beans. They were nice and sweet, but not too much. It was a nice addition to the options. Cool. So, I would give it, I'd say a 9.5 is right around, it's perfect.
Man, that was delicious. Shout out Kim Prince, shout out HOTVILLE Chicken. That chicken was fucking, it's good. Man, the HOTVILLE Chicken was delicious. We're gonna wrap up today's episode with some nice, refreshing ice cream. But not just any ice cream, Salt and Straw ice cream, located in Los Angeles. Let's go there. Oh, what do you know? We're already here. Wow, we got here so fast. Movie magic. Movie magic. I know what I'm gonna order. Oh wow. It's already eaten though. Continuity.
So I got the mint and chip. It's pretty basic flavor compared to all the other flavors they have, but mint and chip is one of my favorite ice creams, so it's really good. We'll try it. It's really good, actually. It's almost, you can definitely taste the mint, but it's a little bit sweeter than most mint and chip ice creams, but I like it a lot. And the chocolate tastes like good chocolate. It's delicious.
So, I got the strawberry tres leche. Thank you. And you can see the perfect drip. It looks so divine. All right, one lick. Tastes exactly how it sounds. If you ever had a tres leche cake, it's delicious. There's little bits of it in here. Strawberry jam is like strawberry preserve that you get from any great grocery store. It's delicious. This is great. Thank you. Thank you, Salt and Straw.
Let's see for myself what the strawberry tres leches is about. It's like sweet and salty. Salty and straw. No, I'm kidding. It's not like an overpowering strawberry sweetness. Feels very like mellow in flavor, so very like refreshing. It's delicious.
So I got the honey lavender. This is pretty much lavender ice cream mixed with like locally sourced honey from here. Let's try a bite. It tastes like lavender. It really tastes like lavender.
Straight up just lavender.
You know?
Try it?
Try some.
Do you have your mic recording?
Yeah. Yeah, it literally just tastes like lavender, fragrance, and honey in ice cream form. Isn't that interesting?
It literally, yeah, that's exactly what it tastes like.
Lavender ice
But
cream.
not like too florally.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a little bit of sweetness in it.
Mm-hmm.
And like milkiness in the ice cream.
It's nice.
It's like really good.
It's like
light. It's very light.
It's like on that kind of flavor profile of like a ube ice cream, where it has like a nice light creamy sweet, but it just tastes has a different flavor.
Yeah.
And that different flavor just happens to be lavender. Never had ice cream that tasted like this before. And I like it. It's enjoyable. This is fun. And it's super low calorie too, only like 200 something calories. Low fat. Per scoop.
Per scoop.
I would get this again, for sure.
I would.
We got the strawberry tres leches and the brown ale and bacon. You can see all the little bacon bites in there. Amazing. And then this has like, it's like a tres leches cake with strawberry jam. You know, had to go with the big double scoop. It's massive. Big enough.
So I got the salted malted chocolate chip cookie dough. I love cookie dough. I don't normally get salted ice cream, but the salty and the sweetness really works. But I gotta say, the cookie dough pieces are probably twice as big in this one scoop than any other ice cream that I've got. So, and I obviously couldn't wait to eat this. Yeah, so it's pretty good, and definitely even better when you're outside and it's nice and warm out. So.
Man, today has been an awesome day, hasn't it, guys? Hasn't it been awesome? Yeah. We chopped it up with the legend Kim Prince over there in HOTVILLE Chicken. Had some amazing, amazing chicken. Cut to that chicken. Cut to that mac and cheese. Cut back to me. What an experience. So grateful that she took the time to talk with us, tell us about her family history, her cooking history, and you know, what she's excited to do for it, and you know, ending the day with some nice salt and straw ice cream was just an excellent way to top off a fun day with friends. Yeah, woo, we'll see you next time. Whoa, yeah, woo, woo.
And
That's a wrap.